manning up to change the world.
Who's the brother walking through the hood? Brother D. Shaking hands, making friends. Brother D. Who's that brother spreading love through his community? Straight from Flint, Michigan, it's Brother D. Now who's the brother walking through the hood? Brother D. Shaking hands, making friends. It's Brother D. Who's that brother spreading love through his community? And when you see
Flint Town, see these young black boys, these young men, these young boys, all under the age of 13. They are future. But this society has already sentenced them to death. They say that 75% of all black males in grade school, still in the 6th grade and under, will be in the penitentiary one day. This world has already plotted and planned their death. These young innocent babies don't even understand the world they're about to grow into that has no respect for black males. But look at them, because this society has already said, has already planned, has already predicted their demise. They're not counting on these young black men, these young black boys to be leaders in their community, to be business owners in their community, to be teachers in their community. They already got it planned for them to be in the penitentiary, strung out on drugs, running around with no hope, no belief in self, no understanding of self. So me and you, Brother D and all other men, got to step up to avert what this world has planned for these young black boys. Flint Town, this Brother D, we're in this together. The educational program, the powerful hidden TV program that can be seen on your local Comcast station at Channel 17. For the duration of this month, you can catch it every Sunday at 2 o'clock. And starting February the 5th, you'll be able to catch it every Friday at 5:30. Sit your sons down, sit your fathers and uncles in front of the TV, and give up an hour of your time to get some of this very important knowledge. Lyme Lyfe Production, right? Yes, sir. Brother D and Lyme Lyfe Production about to do it again. If it ain't powerful, we ain't doing it. We was at the old Dewey School. When it was Dewey School, I was a student here. It became the Broom Center. Now it's the Empowerment Village. And we're finna bring you another show, Flint Town, about how to uplift ourselves, how to improve ourselves. And since we always got some good, Brother D always bringing the best of us to local TV and beyond. And is always presented by Lyme Lyfe Productions. To Brother J, peace to you. See you in a few at the show. Somebody take Chip to the rack.
Three, two.
Flint, we here again at the Empowerment Village. It ain't the Broom Center no more. It ain't Dewey School no more. It's the Empowerment Village. And this brother Tip was instrumental in making sure the programs and the people had access to a safe haven where we can be ourselves, where we can plot and plan on how to uplift our community. And today, I want to start today's show off with something I read. And I want you brothers to give me some feedback on this. This is what I read. And this is wrote by a brother. His name is Thomas Sowell, old conservative, right for Wall Street. he said that black males are the most unreliable humans on the earth. He said that black males are the most likely to be violent in America and throughout the world. And he also said, this is how he put it, we all know that they don't take care of their children because 75% of black households is absent the man. So, I'm going to ask you first, is that accurate? Is it a reason? If it is accurate, what are some of the reasons that make it accurate?
First and foremost, it's definitely some truth in it, being that the circumstances are like that. But, you know, if you're going to look at one aspect of something, you got to look at the whole thing. Why is it that these homes are a single parent and a male is absent? And we can go all the way back in history. The black male has always been up against a system that was bigger than himself. You know, we look at from chattel slavery to Jim Crow to common intelligence programs to even the 80s. And now you have the war on blacks is the war on drugs. So when you have all these different elements placed up against us, it's going to breed such conditions. Then we go back to the 60s. When you have the women, when they started the feminist movement. See, it's a good thing, you know, not to get off track, but the so-called feminist movement, it's a gift and a curse. We want our women to be independent, to be strong, so in the absence of the male, they can hold the family down. But we don't want our women to be too independent, where they say they don't need the black male. And when you do that, when you mix it up, you're gonna get the black males who gonna say, you know what, I ain't gonna be here, because I'm up against this system, then I'm up against this when I come to the household. We're not able to produce like we are. Look at our neighborhood. We got blotted neighborhoods, the educational system, the economical system, you know, it's structural racism and everything, and the truth is in the pudding, man. I mean, you can say those things, but you cannot condemn no person until you condemn the system to place them there, and that's my take on it.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's real right there. Because that's one thing whites and conservative blacks can always avoid, the role that they play. See, they act like, all right, that black males don't do good in school, but they act like ain't nothing wrong with the system, like it's perfect. And we know when John Dewey put this American system together, it was based on the way that white males developed mentally. It didn't have nothing to do with brothers, because brothers was enslaved, so they didn't even consider them being a part of it. And when they allowed us to be a part of it, it didn't change. It stayed the same. Either you're going to get it, or you don't. Now what about you, young brother? Because the odds really stacked against you. How old are you?
19. One thing I noticed is that, like, whites, I feel like as black men though, we gotta know that, feel me, that certain stereotypes is already, they get held against us, and we gotta do what we can to fight against that. We can't prove them right. We gotta do what we can to prove them wrong. Like, if you know all white people think all black men show up to work late, you gotta be the one at the work 30 minutes early. You gotta work harder than everybody. That's all I mean. Like, we know what we got against us, and we know ain't nothing gonna change unless we change it. So we gotta change ourselves. We gotta be willing to go that extra mile. Feel me? Not make excuses. Even though I know that as a young black male, my teacher's probably looking at me like I'm finna jump out of college. I gotta do what I can to be at class every day. They looking for me not to be to class. They looking for me not to take notes. I gotta do that. And I can't. They looking for us to come to the mall, go to the store and steal. You gotta be above what everybody else doing.
That's right, bro. Now, what's your major and what school you go to?
I go to Jackson Community College, and I'm a business major, but I'm changing my major though.
To what?
I'm not sure yet. I'm looking for a major that, I'm gonna give you an example, for like a doctor or somebody like a police officer. I want to go to a field where it's never gonna be like you always gonna need it. Like you never gonna run out of it. So I might be a business major, and they can fire you because they can make anybody a salesman. They can't make anybody a doctor. Like it's always gonna be crime. People always gonna be sick. Just like people who work on cars always gonna be needed to be worked on. So you just gotta do that.
That's some good insight, brother. So what was key for you avoiding the traps of the hood and being able to go to college?
Basketball. To be honest, as a young black male, you gotta find outlet. You got to, because I noticed that when I started playing basketball, it removed me from the I'm not gonna call them losers, but it removed me from the people who was into other things. Like one thing I noticed that growing up in Flint, if you find yourself just idling time, just hanging around, just hanging out, that's when the trouble comes. Like you gotta be doing something productive. You gotta find something to be productive. Like, cause I was always in the gym, so I wasn't with my friends on the street, you know, when they was doing what they was doing.
Man, you know, that's powerful, young brother. That's powerful, man. And see, this is brothers like you, though. See, Brother D gotta bring brothers like you to the TV, cause I ain't seen this on. Matt Franklin don't do this at Channel 12, and I ain't seen it on Channel 5 neither. Now I did see them show Tip and Brother Lee out of Alameda what they do, but on a consistent basis, positive men, we ain't got that. That image ain't projected to our community. And brother, let's get some feedback on what this young brother said or whatever on your mind.
I believe that he's correct in what he's saying, because I'm living proof that, you know what I mean, people can change. Because I'm trying to help the brothers mentor the kids now, and I've been to prison, you know what I mean, I did 15 years, but now I just hang with my family because, you know, I know how that could be. But I grew up in Flint, you know what I mean, but, you know what I mean, if we want to change, you got the church start within yourself. You know what I mean? It don't start with you can't point the fingers at this happening, this happening. What about what you doing? Or what about what's inside you? Why do you want to change? You have to look at all the reasons about you, not about everybody else. Because if you're worried about everything else that's going on around you, you can't fix yourself. You're trying to fix everybody else. So I believe that the brother is correct, you know what I mean? Because I grew up out here too, and you know what I mean, he found his outlet. I didn't find my outlet was selling drugs and all that, but I'm through with that. Because I believe that, you know what I mean, I'm the reason why they look at other people that's trying to do positive. You know what I mean? If I mess up, then, you know what I mean, you could be white, black, or whatever. But if one person messes up, they look at that whole group as like, okay, well, they all doing that. You know what I mean? Just like because I'm Muslim, right? Just like if somebody go blow up a tower, they think every Muslim is a terrorist now. But that's not true. You know what I mean? So you have to first look at yourself. Everybody wants to point the finger at who doing this or who doing that.
Like
what about what you do?
And I had a good home. I'm talking about grandmother and father was like the key principal people in my life. But I also had an auntie that was dark as this shirt who grew up in the household. And one of the things that my grandmother told us every single day, she used to comb a big part inside of my head and told me how handsome I was, how special I was, how a good person I was. And when she used to tell my auntie the same thing, you so beautiful, and we'd leave off. But I learned that it was something beyond that was more powerful than what my grandmother was giving us that was out here in society. Because she didn't come from an environment where she thought black was bad or she was ugly. But you can call her a hoe or the B word, and she may get mad. But if you attach black to it, she was ready to kill you. Right. Don't call me no black nothing. She did not, and it took me a long time to understand what's wrong with her. If you call her black, you black mother, she'll chase you with bricks and whatever. And it used to hurt her the worst. And then that's when I learned, later on in life I learned that this society is so out cold. That you can come up in an environment that's contrary to that, but still be turned out by society. You done seen brothers, man, who grow up, daddy work hard, make decent money, probably ain't rich, but he make decent money, he sustain his family. But the dope man down the street,
It's who the brother want to be like.
Right.
And my daddy go to work every single day and take well care of us. See, this society is so contrary to God, and when the people have no culture and no history, they subject to that. Because see, sometimes you don't want to, Dad, man, you work too hard.
Right.
See, I ain't got no history that we get away with that we move forward by that. So this new stuff that's on the scene, man, I'm gonna have to check this out, man, because you just go too hard at Fisher Body.
Right.
And my man out here with 4 Cadillacs, you get one every year, but he got 4.
Mm-hmm.
And so we going off there, but you know that same effect don't affect too many other communities. Why it affect ours so bad?
I think because, like, in the black community, like hip hop a big influence in the black community. And one thing hip hop do, like, I know the hip hop now is like, it's a big, everybody focus on who got the most money, and like people don't know that in order to be happy in life, you don't gotta have a lot of money, and you don't want to do nothing out of your character to get money. You feel me? The only thing that's really important in life is being happy, being comfortable, and like having goodwill for people. And once people understand that, I feel like stuff will change though, because we got people. You know, I read an article. A girl killed her mama for insurance money. Like we gotta change that. We can't be so stuck up on money. Because being rich is it's a nice luxury, but if you work hard, you're gonna get it. You got no shortcuts in life.
And also, man, I think like me myself, I'm more of I deal with more of the psychological effects of the people. The psyche of what develops the mindset of what makes a person do what he or she does. And from my experience and my understanding of my studies is like we can grow up with all these great things. Like me myself, I use myself as an example. I had my grandfather, my grandmother, my mother, my father. He was in the military. He wasn't there. His presence wasn't there. Physically, but he provided for me when he could. I had older guys that was, when I was younger, that was great role models. But once I reached that age of what we call maturity, and like you said, when I hit the streets and I seen this, those factors influenced my decision making. Yeah. And I understood, like, man, now when I look back, like, wow, what made me go and make those decisions? And I think now, today, we get like my cousin was saying, it's a lot of materialism. A lot of people think materialism determines your state of happiness, who you are. We got to understand, like, people only value materialism because it's an inadequacy within self. The first thing we teach, Brother D, is knowledge of Allah and knowledge of yourself. If you don't have knowledge of yourself, of course, acquiring these material things is going to make you feel like you got something. I see a lot of that in our community. We want to put this person on this pedestal because he got a little money, a little dope money. This person ain't doing that, so we look down upon this person. And I heard people say, well, this person doing all this and they're blessed, but they doing all this wrong. And I always tell them, look, you can't put limitations on who Allah allows to get anything. He provides for anything. But you got to be conscious of what you do and how you do it, because what sense is it for me if I make $2 million and I destroy 1 million people making it? What good is that going to get me? But this to get to where we at right now, the empowerment village, man. We get it from the African proverb. It takes a village to raise a child. And that's what we want to work together with everybody. Come together, get our society back, man, get our children back, education, economics. We want to work together, man, and just get that back where our kids can go and be successful. Where we can go send our kids to college. We ain't got to worry about student loans kicking our butt. We ain't got to worry about our kids getting in debt going to college. Then when they get out of college, they go work for somebody and they get more in debt. We look at, from the educational standpoint, skills trades. People don't know that would never go out. Like you said, the auto mechanics. Mm-hmm. See, people don't know. The unions, the white unions, back in the 60s and the 70s, they rallied to take that out of black schools, public school system. Because they knew that if they took that out, blacks couldn't compete with them with jobs. They knew General Motors wasn't going to be here. So by they taking those skilled trades away from our children, now what we ain't got no choice but to sell dope to survive.
And the sad thing is that with all this truth on the scene, with all this obvious stuff on the scene, like in the 60s, we Martin Luther King, the civil rights leaders, they did a hell of a thing, and they broke down barriers, and they eliminated what they call separate but equal, and they made it to where everybody could go to the same school, where we could go to the school without having to just be black or just be downgraded. But 30, 40, 50 years later, the State Department has defined inner city education as a pipeline to prison. This is what it has become. So now a young brother or a brother who done woke up will look back and say, man, they made mistakes going that route, because look at the outcome. And see, you have to have vision to see the possibilities that may come while you're trying to do something. Like whatever I'm doing today, health-wise, physical-wise, mental-wise, I got to see where it's going to lead me 5 years from now. And if I can't see that, I may be doing something and end up in a place that ain't even cool 5 years from now. And wonder how I got there. So we all got to have some vision. And the vision that I've been trying to advocate to those who, see, we already on the same page. But see, the people who got church buildings, who got church programs, who instrumental in the school system and in the economic market, see, they can shun us a little bit. They really ain't got to respond to us unless it's enough of us. Because I've been advocating for years that we need to design our own curriculum. We need to dismantle everything about school now. See, it might be best for us that boys be in one class, young ladies be in another class, learning the same thing. Not treating them like they different or inferior, but creating a new environment. That might be best for us. And if it's best for us, then who the hell outside us gonna tell us that we can't do it? Right. See, shouldn't nobody have the power to tell us that if this is best for black children, well, you know, we state representatives and that can't go down. So that means that anything that our people, our great people, because Dr. Julian and Nathan had Naeem Akbar, among others, as being instrumental, caring about the black community, playing a major role in trying to fight white supremacy and oppression and make sure that we have freedom, justice, and equality. We love them for that. So we're going to take their word, and we don't give a damn what the governor, the mayor, or whoever else say, because they ain't on this battle. They ain't did this study. They invested years into seeing how to unravel what we tangled up in. So whenever we deny it, and our children watch this, they already know it's a battle going to school, and my daddy ain't gonna do nothing. I hate school, but you make me go every day, and you ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Right.
So how can they respect that? Look, you make me go every day to somewhere I hate to go.
Right.
And then if I don't do well in it, you want to beat me down. Like it's all my fault. So they lose respect. And they look at us like, man, I don't want to hear nothing you talking about.
Right. And you know what, Brother D? Like right now, it's a new time, a new era, man. Especially here in Flint with this water crisis, man. You see all these so-called city leaders. You know, you got one stepping down, stepping out the way. You got one stepping up. Now is the time. Now our people see. They recognize, like, we have to be self-reliant. If we continue to rely and depend on others to bring about what we can bring about ourselves, we gonna get lead in the water, contaminated water. Look at the Flint public school system, man. It's horrible. We gonna get these outsiders, these charter schools coming in. Man, we know charter schools is about money. You know, we gonna get this violence and these lack of employment, lack of economical development. Just look at our city. But now, I still see opportunity, and I see a great future, like with my cousin here, going to college. He's the first male from my maternal side to ever go to college. His uncles, me, everybody else went to prison. He is the first male. I'm proud of him. I just want him to know that, like, I'm proud of him. All my cousins, they going to college.
Me too, bro.
They all going to college. I want them to know I'm proud of them, keep their head up, and he can tell you. I done told him, I ain't your friend, man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm your uncle. I'm your cousin. I want the best for you. So the stuff that I know you shouldn't do, I'm not gonna advocate for you to do it. So don't come to me talking about I want to do this. He can tell you.
Yeah.
To be honest, man, everybody need somebody like that in their life, though. Like when Tip first came home, it was life changing experience, man. He pushed me real hard. He was just like my dad, you know. You need somebody in your life to tell you no, like for me, tell you that you need to be doing this instead of running with them. You need somebody to do that for sure. Cause if you don't got nobody to help you build your morals and help you learn your rights from wrong, you'll do anything. You would think it's okay.
Something else. We need somebody to give us a kidney shot every now and then too.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
You need somebody to go upside your head every now and then.
Yeah, because sometimes that'll make you understand.
Cause you'd be mad at first, and then you just start sitting there. You think about it like, dang, he is right. Like,
They don't teach our kids that.
No, they don't.
That's why we got to give it to them. You an example. For the ones coming up to you, you don't even know it. They looking up to you. You going to college and doing that. We examples.
Yes.
And like that's the work I do. I do the ministry, the mentor. You know, people ask me, you know, I got a little job or whatever. But that's what I love to do. That's what God put me here.
Exactly.
And I'm going to work it, and I'm going to use my experience to help others. Because
Yeah.
they can relate to us. Because I'm going to give it to you right. And I see, even though, you know, right now, blacks, we are the most incarcerated in the nation, in the world.
Yeah.
But one thing I see, one thing I love about going back and giving back to where I come from is that I like to give them brothers hope and opportunity. And let them know, listen, if we study every great black man or every great man, they all had experience like that. Even Martin was in jail. Martin Luther was in jail. Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, they all had adversities and they overcame it and they became great black men and they started something that look at it now. You look at Noble Drew Ali, I'll speak on him first. He did some things with the Moore Science Temple of America even before Elijah did. You know, he learned from Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey did some things before him. Then you got Elijah, Farah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Minister Farrakhan, Dr. Umar Johnson.
And
Man,
he'll
we
be
got
here,
great
Flint.
black leaders.
He'll
Yeah,
be
he'll be
here
here on the
On
18th.
the 18th.
But what I'm getting at is that, and I hate when people try to make it seem like we're racist because we speak about the black agenda. Who else agenda I'm going to speak about? I've been affected. My people continue to be affected by this agenda, so I'm going to speak out against it. And I'm going to tell the people what they need to know. And that's just the truth, man. You know, I just want, the people to know, like, it's that time. We have to build the family up. We got to build a family structure. Like the brother D was saying, man, we got to get rid of that mentality, man. That baby mama, baby dad, I hate that mentality. It's destroying us because when you really study history, when you study society, when you study people, the only way we gonna be preserved is through our family. So if I'm not a man and a husband and a father and a maintainer and a protector, guess what? I'm setting my family, my wife, my children up to fail. We have to, men, we gotta take, I see it a lot out here, man. Deadbeat dads, deadbeat mothers. We gotta be fathers, man. We gotta protect, we gotta maintain, we gotta take care of what's ours. If we created a child, brought a child in this world, it's our duty to give that child or protect the factors he or she needs to become great, to give them opportunity. If we ain't got no strong family, we not giving them opportunity. The brother stated some actual facts in the beginning. 3/4 of children born in a single family home are prone to drop out of school. And if you drop out of school, you prone to do what?